YouTube, right? To Facebook, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be like social networking, but you keep your data private. I looked at the
Yeah.
project maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago for something I was working on, and kind of didn't have a place for it at the time, but thought I might go back around to it. It looked like it wasn't very well supported, though, even though it was a great idea.
Mm-hmm. I deeply believe in this kind of distributed systems where you would, in mesh-like systems, where you don't have centralized kind of vendor or company who would run it, but it would be like more relate on community, on peers, on crowd. I think it's eventually it will be. This is where we will land as humanity, but we still have this. Age of centralized systems. It's still Web 2.0 and everything is cool and nice looking, but it's still centralized. Even the cloud, it's still centralized. Some vendor can just pull off the plug and turn you off. And this is not what we really need as humans, because we are as humans, we run pretty much in a decentralized way, just starting from our nature. And we don't want someone who will rule all of us and dictate us, even in a good way, like what to do.
No such thing as dictating in a good way.
Well, you can say something like, because this is for your benefit or whatever. You should do this way and that way. Still, some people would need to evolve themselves into it and don't take it like as granted, or I don't know. I think it just also goes somehow into this philosophical kind of way and mental. What it's a huge topic in itself.
I agree with your position. I've been an independent developer for a number of years, and and today actually is an interesting day because I was hooking up a TV in my garage for my wife. She wants to exercise, and so she has this exercise class that she takes. That because the gyms are all closed because of the COVID thing, So she's got some equipment. We're going to put it in the garage, and she'll just do there. But when I looked at the TV, it's got wireless and all this stuff in it, and I can't use any of those services unless I sign up for LG's privacy agreement, which basically says, well, we're going to collect everything you do in our TV, and then we're going to sell it too. And it's just, so I got so mad, I'm ready to rip the goddamn thing off the wall and throw it away. It's brand new, 40-inch flat panel TV that I refuse to turn on. But what pisses me off, if I were using like a streaming service from them or something like that, I understand they'd be the merchant, but they just sold me the plastic. There's no reason for them to have access to my phone and my fucking home network and my, and other channels that they have nothing to do with, and other businesses that they have nothing to do with. They're just, the way they've written and built this. So you can't use the AirPlay, which isn't their technology, but you can't turn it on unless you agree to their privacy agreement and stuff like that. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
I'm
totally
far
agree.
less convinced the world is going to come out the way you think than I want. And good morning, Ahmed. Nice to hear you too.
Yeah, guys. By the way, guys, we are streaming right now. We have like 30 people also on YouTube watching us and following our study jam, study group, whatever. So this is also our people who are primarily from our cloud study network group who are joining us today, and they will be just following what we do. And if there will be any questions, I will be directing them to the group, from channeling kind of between the two groups.
So are we streaming?
One comment.
Yeah, we are streaming already. Like I start stream exactly at the time of the beginning at 7 in German time. It's 7 p.m. In your time, what is it? It's 1 p.m. Yeah.
So one comment I wanted to make for benefit of Mark. Mark, I don't know if you have seen the freebies that Cloud Study Network offers. Oh, it's just amazing. A lot of Udemy free courses. Just take a look at those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Not only just freebies, we have a lot of people involved there, and we exchange information, experiences. Like our people are crazy for going and making certifications, all these technical certifications, starting with cloud technologies, but also Kubernetes and all this kind of stuff. So helping each other out, and encouraging each other. And we communicate primarily using our Slack channel, what is Slack.cloudnet, like, let me think for a moment. It's cloudstudy.net, slack.cloudstudy.net.
All right, so we're live then. You've already started streaming. And is this agenda showing?
We
Yes.
see the agenda, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, this is the AWS agenda for our weekly study session. There's the invite there if you need to get in. But I heard someone beep. There, we have our Slack as well. In our free classes, a lot of that comes from Karen's Cloud Study Network. Before we start the labs, just did some things. Anybody got any problems with AWS that they want to talk about?
No problems so far, only the positive stuff. I approached last week, no, actually this week, beginning of this week, some people from AWS, and I got connected with folks who are running communities there. Their interest was very strong, and we are in kind of a back and forth communication right now to get some kind of hands-on classes for our joint study group, and that we can hands-on experience AWS and progress in a similar way as we do with Quick Labs. But Quick Labs, we know the labs there are pretty limited comparing to GCP, for example.
Yeah.
We will see what we will get, and I will keep everyone informed. Is there any news from your side, John, with your foundation of maybe another community or whatever?
Yeah, so regarding the link that you sent, I used that to go back and try to get into AWS community groups. And they said I submitted all the stuff. They said they would get back to me in October. But I was also going to mention that the guy that I met through AWS development lead, who was the guy who said he was going to help us get into the community program, he did get back to me this week, and he asked for what our meetup link was so that we could be put in the AWS community group. And literally that's all he said. I can look at it. What did he say? He said, I just want to follow up on this. Let's get this on the AWS site. And that's the last I heard there. So going at it from two angles, I think we're making some headway with the AWS guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for doing this, John.
Yeah, no worries.
We're getting close.
Getting close. We're getting there. All right. So with that said, I actually found this link from from another group, from a GDG group, because Kubernetes is hot on the ACE exam. And I thought this was interesting because we were talking about how personification of topics tend to make people understand things. I don't know why, but whatever. And it came from that cartoon guide statistics that I was talking about. This other guy mentioned this. It's a quick read, and he's just talking about pods relative. I thought this was I thought these were going to be like otters or something, prairie dogs or something. Oh, there we go. Prairie dogs are replica sets, right? One box jumps out, the other one jumps back up. Anyway, it's a URL, goes through it, just in case you're interested about Kubernetes. Kubernetes is even an AWS. Today's lab is a dynamic conversational bot part 2. Like I said, we started this because we're running out of labs on AWS. I don't mind redoing them, but I would like to do all the available ones before I start redoing them. This lab, I haven't done, but it's kind of nice because if the guy that came one time who said he was going to talk about building a presentation on Lex, we're kind of warming up to understand what Lex is about. So this will be our second lab in Lex. This time I actually made some quiz questions for Lex. So we've got that. I encourage you to participate. Before we do the quiz, I will launch the waiting screen. See if we can do this properly. Invite to quiz, copy. And I'm going to launch it while you get into it. I'm going to post the chat link here. So the link is started, and while we're waiting on that, I'm going to present this other tab, which is here. So the questions, I threw in one S3 question, and then the other ones are kind of like from the Lex docs. They'll be kind of trivial, but it'll get you in the mindset of doing this lab. One of the things here is in this one, last time we just built the bot. We didn't hook anything programmatically to it. This time we're going to connect Amazon DynamoDB and Lambda. Lambda is like Cloud Function. It's like a serverless code exercise. Some of these questions came from the facts and just the resources. If I go to this overview page, there is maybe the features page. Yeah, here is kind of the basics of it, right? You have intents, utterances, and slots, fulfillments. The intents are, it performs an action. An utterance is something that comes back in response. The slot is like a parameter, right? So if you remember that from the little dialogue we were doing, and fulfillments was what was happening at the end. So with that said, the quiz link is up. Let me join the quiz link as well. See how many people are joined. We have 11 connected users. 12, 13. How many people do you have in your stream, Karen?
We have 46 people. No, I actually almost 50 people right now.
Almost 50 people in the stream.
Yeah.
How many?
I'm just reposting the link again. I guess we will have more people joining the quiz.
All right,
and the capacity is 50, right?
Yeah, there's 50 people can be in the. So over on this tab, it's showing 50 is the user limit. We have 16 in there. Last time I think we actually went over. We had like 55. The last time we did a big quiz, so I'm not really sweating it. But if there's anybody who wants to get in but hasn't gotten in, so I need to hold off, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go at 13:18, which is 2 minutes from now.
Yeah. So everyone in the YouTube stream, I posted the link 2 times. Make sure to join it. You will just simply, it's not as the actual exam. Don't worry about it. You will just test your knowledge of platform, and specifically John prepared something for the Lex system, right? Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So some of these questions are like questions from the week before, but we did one lab on Lex. We're going to do a second lab on Lex today. This one has some additional questions for Lex in it. These are trivial questions, but we'll eventually get enough that are good in there. I tend to think of the ones that are command line centric better. All right, so it's 13:17, and we're still joining, so we'll just hold off a second. Are you guys that are on the Hangout, are you in the quiz? All right, so that's it. Let's start it up then. I'll play along with you, and I will share. We're sharing the result tab. There's no winners or losers to this. This is just kind of getting you in the mindset of having to think what the answer is rather than just watching somebody. That's kind of a simple storage service is what S3 stands for, not simplex. The answer there is you can use that STS for more than just SMS users. You can do it for a lot of different things. So once again, Lambda functions exist in Python, but however, in the case of AWS, it's there. And it's just kind of the same thing, right? You don't have storage, but you do have functional code that can be exercised. The key is with AWS Lambda is you have a trigger that triggers the function to be called, right? So Dynamo is just one of the top level services. It was one of the early ones. It's a NoSQL database, right? It's a key value store setup. Everybody got that right pretty much. If you didn't, don't sweat it. It's the wrong part of that answer below was it says SQL. It's a NoSQL. The thing here is SQS is kind of like PubSub and GCP. So that's the wrong one is up above. It talks about R. There is no R support for SQS that I know of. This is the AWS SDK for doing the work, with another programming language, right? What does he support? So the key here, what calls out that as a wrong answer, it's more than just running code in the container. You can run a full-fledged server. EC2 is analogous to GCP's compute engine. I love these command line things because I wrote this quiz and I've done it like 3 weeks now or 4 weeks, and I still don't know them by heart. But it's describe instances. AWS uses dashes a lot to hyphenate words. This also gets into kind of like how they build commands versus GCP. GCP will tend to use dash dash something equals something. AWS will use like dash dash parameter equals a parameter with no equals there. This is the same kind of syntax. You are looking for a non-equals thing, right? So you might have a dash dash, I believe, but you won't have the equals. And you've got to have the component. So it's AWS component SQS, right? This is one of the simple questions. It's actually misspelled. It should be, I think that's 2 words, SageMaker. SageMaker is the Jupyter Notebook equivalent on AWS. Once again, there's no right or wrongs. You're just trying to test your knowledge and get you in the mode of doing something rather than just passively watching it. Yeah. All right, so Andrew, the guy that knows about Lex, looks like he's wanted to join. He was just in the Slack, so that's good. It's good, 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 good. Hello, Andrew, we're doing the quiz. We've talked about you 3 times now.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
We're doing the quiz now, but we've talked about you 2 or 3 times already today.
Oh no, that sounds bad.
It's good. You've had an impact.
How can I have an impact when I haven't been here?
So you talked like on one of our meetings about doing a Lex presentation.
Yes.
So last week we did a Lex exercise.
Oh, great.
This week we're doing a Lex exercise. This is the second lab in Lex.
Okay. I was thinking either next week or the week after that, or whenever you want. I could do like an hour-long talk. I have a chat bot that I could. Is my video on? Can you see me? I can't see myself. So.
I'm doing the quiz, so
Okay.
I can come back to you. I can hear you.
All right, we'll come back. Thanks.
You're welcome. And you can see here we're getting ready to do some Lex questions, so you can see how poorly my Lex question ability is. The key here is saying natively. I do believe it will support all of these because you can build your own kernel, but out of the box, it's not going to support R, which is a pity because R is pretty cool. And here we got some Lex things. Anything you want to say about intents, Andrew, real quick in 5 seconds?
Well, I mean, it's one of the. It's a key idea from the whole Lex kind of series of constructs that they set up to provide what I call a bot service toolkit.
Yeah.
And so there's this whole series of concepts like intents, utterances, slots, all these ideas where an intent is like well, I could go on for hours about this. So is there intents make it very easy to set up code that can be executed when AWS does its natural language processing and then tries to figure out what the user is trying to say or what tasks they're trying to achieve. And then Lex kind of maps what it thinks the user is trying to do with one of the intents that the bot developer has set up to perform that task. So it takes a little bit to get your head around, but yeah, I can talk about slots and intents and fulfillments and how that hooks into the AWS Lambda framework.
Can you think of fulfillments as an action?
Well, I mean, semantically, I'm not sure what you mean by action, but yes, I would say yes. But fulfillment is what happens after everything that AWS needs to satisfy an intent, like after it has all the variables it needs, after like all the checks have passed, and the AWS sees that this intent is ready to go. It's ready to hand off. And you know, for example, if you're booking a doctor's appointment, you need to know like the location, the doctor, the date, all these things. So once Lex has all the information, then it sees that, okay, this intent is ready to be fulfilled. And then it hands off, it fires off an event, or you could call it an action, or really a Lambda. And the Lambda handles the back-end work to actually, schedule that appointment, make the modifications to the database objects in some SQL database or in Dynamo or wherever your database is, either in AWS or actually out somewhere else on the network.
All right, very good. So he was just mentioning Lambda, right? So you know right here that this is false, right? Because it does integrate with Lambda.
Yes, it does. I mean, it makes direct references to Lambdas in the intent editor.
Yeah. This is an easy one, but I put it here in the question section so that you could read it, because it's pretty good that you take a little bit of moment time to read. That literally came right from their help page. So Lex supports more things than just the base AWS SDK, it looks like, right? Because we only saw like maybe 5 languages in the AWS SDK, but for Lex, you got more, right? So this is, or maybe you don't, true or false.
I mean, Lex supports via lambdas, I suppose. Yeah.
So the key there is like these slots correspond to parameters. If you remember that also in the lab, it was like the dollar parentheses or dollar curly braces, or what, and then the name of the slot. And then they had types, if you remember that, in the lab last week. This is kind of the question from before. Poly is what's doing the speech to text. Once it's in text form, then then Lex will work on it. You will bypass Poly if you just type in there. You don't actually have to use your microphone. We'll try to use Poly here in the lab. So the first sentence there was, all right, so here, this is the 1S3 question that's new. And I see I've made a mistake. So I'll tell you right now, it could be, I think it has to be A. Actually, I think there's just one right answer here. I think you must do one thing here that's not in one of them. So the thing is, I do believe you have to put the trailing slash. If you don't put the trailing slash, it won't give you the contents of that folder. Don't worry about the score. I made the quiz, so I know how to do it. But so don't worry about the score, but just, kind of get you in the mood for it. Yada, yada, yada. Let's see if we can start the lab. Before I go to the lab, is there any questions about that quiz?
Yeah, John, thank you very much. It was so much fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. So one of the things, I don't have it.
John, one comment. Some of the description was too long and the time was not enough to read it before you can answer it. So, you just need to guess there.
All right.
Not just guessing, because, another answer was very short. I would jump to the second answer answer and check if it's more or less sounds like a correct answer, and then go either for it or for the long version. So it's basically also just game of time, just to outsmart the system a little bit. It's not necessarily just testing your pure knowledge, because it gives you more points if you answer quick the question and right.
Yeah, and if you notice, there was a whole series of questions that went true, 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 and then it went to a false, right? So I literally tried to throw you off there. So in the AWS thing, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how their help pages work. But here, he's showing there's no trailing slash, but he shows contents of it. But when I was doing this, I was getting different results. So anyway, let me stop sharing that. Play with the command. There's AWS S3LS, and you can put some folders and stuff in there. Let me stop this for a second and present the lab again, and we'll go ahead and get started. We'll do more S3 stuff later. Hopefully you guys have got Quick Lab subscriptions. I think most of you do. We've showed you how to get them.
That's a good question, John. That's a good question. I just wanted to address it as well. I'm pretty sure there will be people who don't have access or any credits for Quick Labs platform, and I can share some credits with them. So basically, we need to find a way to pass their Quick Labs email addresses to me. I will add them to a group where they will get access to some points, which they can use today for the labs.
Yep. Or if you just do this, go to he can share credits with you, which is great. That's rock and roll. But then if you go to Twitter and I want to see, like, I don't want to log in, but where is Twitter here? There we go. If you just go to their link, they'll show you, like, do this or click on this and use this key code, and they will give you, like, some free credits. Sadly, it's mostly about Google now, but if you do the Google ones, you'll get free access to everything on their site. And just make sure that you do it at that URL, right? The Quick Labs URL, and not google.quicklabs, right? So if I were to, so like this is a Quick Labs, this is a bad one to do, but all of these are offline. But if you were to do if you go in like so, or like so, which will tend to happen if you go in like this, and then you go over to try and find a AWS lab, it may not work. So just make sure that you take off this part. Yeah, so here we'll go in here, but I bet you, oh yeah, see it went away. That looks like those are class. Let's do this. Go to this one. And while it's interesting, well, that's Google Cloud instead of AWS. Okay. Weird AWS, and you get to this. So just, anyway, the key is just take this off and you'll be good to go. All right, let's share this tab, get rid of this. Let's see if the console will open. All right, the console is open. All right, so let's try to do this. All All right, so he wants us to log in, which we've done. We want to make sure we're set to Oregon. We're going to go to DynamoDB to start. We're going to create a table. They're giving us a name to create it with. They're giving us a primary key. It's going to be a number. And I'm just trying to see. That's it. So create. All right, I'm just reading what he's saying here. In the left navigation menu, click Tables. We've already clicked it, okay. Click the table. Click the indexes. We're going to create an index. It will be product type. A sort key. Hit product flavor. Sounds like it's going to be the ice cream thing again automatically. We see that. Projected attributes, key only. Create index. All right, so we're going to create another table. This will be kept as a string. No sort key. We can create it. We're waiting for both of them to become active. We'll click here just to see if he's active. We're waiting on my orders to be active. Refreshed. Okay, there they are. Sweet, they're both active. Click the My Orders, go to the indexes. We're going to create an index. Create index, okay. So we're going to go back to tables. So one is going to have the product inventory, another one is going to have the orders. And we're going to add some items to these guys via Lambda. So let's go to Lambda. Rather than just typing in Lambda, I like to look for it, trying to figure out where they are. Lambda. Thinking Lambda would be something like, oh, there it is. It's like a compute resource, okay. Select DynamoDB add items, okay. So they've already set one up. Let's see if we can look at the code. Here's the code. So one thing that you see here, these are all components that are not like storage in this function, but they're connections to something else. So here is the DynamoDB. Here's how he's getting credentials. Here is a hard-coded entity, which is corresponding to the DynamoDB table, which is interesting. He's got DynamoDB down here, but I don't see anything about the table. Maybe it's in the code. This gets called based upon a trigger. Let's see what the trigger is. The trigger is down here. Can't remember where it is, but this maybe we'll find it. Basic settings. Don't see where the trigger is. Okay, there is no trigger. All right, very good. All right, on the actions menu, click test. And we're going to give it our little test code a name. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. He's not going to have us tweak this. Okay. All right, we'll do this. This is odd. Didn't say anything. Clicking test now will, there's a wave other way. So there's the add items. So now when we click test, it's actually going to run it. You could pick like a different one, or you could go back and configure that guy. But that may have called this code. Verify the existence of products in my product. So let's just look. I don't think he must have created, yeah. So he created these entities. He didn't even look at what came in on the trigger, right? So here we get the result of that call. And he says to go back to services S3. Pardon me, services Dynamo. My bad. Let me go to Dynamo. Click tables, my products, items. Yep, there's our items in there. All right, create the bot backend Lambda function. So we're going to go back to Lambda and pick it up from the shortcut this time. We're going to create the function from scratch this time. We're going to give it a function name. Use an existing role. This is the Lex backend. Function. He didn't say anything about changing the programming language, so I think it was like Node.js. Yeah, that looks like JavaScript. Okay. Scroll down to the function code. All right, so he gives us some code. So I'm going to put this on my downloads directory. And we're going to use that. So we're going to upload this code. Let's see. Click actions. Maybe not that. So we've got to upload a zip file. Maybe it's here. Yep, here we go. Upload a zip file. Upload. Save. So he is loading in that zip file that we downloaded. And now he's going to change it to Python. In the basic settings, down here. Okay, we're going to click edit. Now he's going to change it to Python. Python 2.7. By the way, if you remember these, we talked about some of these languages for lambdas. R is not one of them. All right, we're going to name this change the timeout to 3 minutes. We're going to click save. This is the same role as before. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look here at this code for a second. I wonder if that's a typo. RR replace. Oh, that's what they've got it called there. Okay. We'll find things. Just looking over this and reading kind of what they're saying. Passes it to the dispatch function. Is there a dispatch function in here? Not sure what there. Okay, so maybe this is the entry point right here. Called when the user specifies an intent for this bot. So if he doesn't find an intent, he'll come back with not supported. If he does, he's saying this is a right here. This is the if this is the intent. Locate the function called iHelp, which is this guy. So I guess when they call out help, he's going to come back with a fulfillment saying it's fulfilled, and then he's going to print this text out. It says, look at the order product function. So we're looking at this one. So slot, remember that's a variable. So product flavor must be in what we've got to set as available. How is he determining this? Slots, product flavor. Maybe that comes only from the bot, but I would think that maybe he does something with Dynamo to get that list. There's the product types. These are the product flavors. So this is hard coded. This he's actually going to the DynamoDB, and it looks like he's looking for product type as a string. And so that's what he's putting in. Okay. Intent fulfillment. Let's see what that does. Maybe this is the main entry point. Yeah, because here he's calling dispatch. So this must be the main entry point. Okay. I don't see that. Whatever. Okay. Locate the get product flavors. This function queries your DynamoDB. Yep. We already saw that. Okay. So now we're halfway through, and we're going to go to Lambda. Pardon me, Lex. Sorry. Amazon Lex. see. Once again, rather than typing it here, let's look and see if we can find it, kind of get an idea of how they group them. Is it? Yep, it's in machine learning. The bot's already been somewhat built. Yeah, it says the configuration of the bot should look familiar because it's nearly equivalent to the bot that you created in Lab 1 with an additional intent, get product flavor. So if I understand correctly, these are slots, right? And there you go. Yep, you see slots here. And what the slot type is, yada, and there's slot type. You can go over there for product type. And the fulfillment is return parameters to the client, okay? All right. Link your bot to the function you created. Click on an intent named help. There was an intent named help right there. We're going to probably change this. Yep, we're clicking that. And then we're sending it to Lex backend. Okay. Okay. Go to save intent. We're looking for the intent order product. Expand Lambda initialization. Yep. And we're going to select this backend. Okay. Let's go to fulfillment. All right. It's that same Lambda function. That's it. And we're going to save this intent. All right. Configure the get product flavor intent. Which is this one? Same thing. Same thing. Okay. Expand fulfillment. Same thing as before. We're just tying it in. And we're going to save the intent. All right, so we're going to build it and test it. We are on the last step here. Woo-hoo. All right, so here we are. Let's see if we can click on the chat and see if it'll work. Help. Help. Okay, so Poly does not work. Let's try this. Help. Yep, so sweet. Remember we saw that in the code. All right. Look what the dialog state in the inspect response section says. All right, give me a second. I got to figure out where this is. Look what the dialog state in the inspect response section says. Anybody see that? Inspect. Detail, maybe?
Yeah, it's right there.
So the dialog state. I don't see dialogues. Inspect response. Inspect. I don't see it there either. Where is he talking about? Okay, let me go. It says, enter help. You will receive a response from Lex. Right, we did that. Look what the dialog state in the inspects response section says. Okay, inspect response. Here we are. Inspect response. Dialog state. Okay, there it is. Fulfilled. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Test the get product flavor by entering the following text in the chat window. All right. It's been to elicit slot, which is meaning he's wanting us to specify a slot, right? So let's look and see, where do we see this? Which product, which flavors do you have? That's this one. And it's requiring a product type. All right, very good. Sweet. I think that's what that means. Showing us the response in JSON. There's the message that we see there above. Okay, let's say ice cream. And he's probably going to get flavor. All right. So he's listing the flavors. Verify database connectivity. Click services and select DynamoDB. Click the My Products table. Click the Items tab. Click the tree view. Where is that? Oh, no, okay. So we're going to create an item. All right. We got tree, okay. And select text, okay. All right, and so we're going to specify a new one. 6. Okay, so they're saying replace this. I don't know, Rocky Road. Oh, that's a flavor. Okay, click save. Test your new flavor in the Lex chatbot. Okay. Click My Bot. My bot has gone away. Is it over here? Nope. Click My Bot. On the right side, hit test. Let's do it. Nope. How do we get back to test? Andrew, do you see? Oh, here we go. Right here. Okay. All right, very good. And there's our Rocky Road. Very good. Test the order product intent. All right, and he's like asking us to put in mango. Does mango exist? We do have mango, okay. Type of number, let's put 4. So you got to order 5, okay. All right, so let's do 10. And yes, we want to do that. All right. Click the order table. So we go back to Dynamo, tables, my orders. We should see 10 mango yogurts. 10, product ID 4. I wonder if this will show us anything more. Nope. So that's that. All right, blah, blah, blah. For by the end of this lab, you should have an Amazon Lex conversational bot that is able to validate slots and fulfill intents by creating a Lambda function. And there we go.
I think one thing that's probably missing from the tutorial, or from maybe not from the tutorial, but from the bigger picture, is now what? So you have the backend bot.
Yep.
Now what do you do with it, right? How do you actually use it on a website? And so you have the whole user interface part that you have to build or find somewhere. So I can talk about that next week, if you'd like. So it's really whatever you guys want.
Well, very good. Well, we've got an hour and 1 minute to play with this thing. Is there anything anybody wants to do? Otherwise, we'll close it out here. Anything you want to look at in particular? It's kind of the nice thing about Quick Labs is you can do this on their dime, right? Anyone from your stream, Karen? They've got any things they would like to see tried out?
Yeah, so everyone, if you have any ideas what we can do more in this regard, let me know, write it in the chat. I will channel it back to John and the team. We need just a couple of minutes until it propagates, because stream has just several seconds of lag after the actual event.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Otherwise, Andrew, is it like a long version? What you can add here to the whole framework? What can be done with these tools?
Right now, or I was going to come back either in a week or two or whenever. Are you now? I don't understand what's happening exactly with your group. So you're streaming to a whole other group of people?
Yeah.
We have our own group which is joining this for the second time. This study group, AWS study group. We right now they also provide some feedback as well. I have been on them, some of them, to Quick Labs. Not all of them have access, so I took care of it. Other than that, it was pretty quiet on the feedback.
Okay.
So Andrew, Karen, I met Karen back with the GDG. He's in Germany.
Okay.
Did some joint sessions on GCP, and now we're doing joint sessions with AWS. And so he's streaming. So rather than me recording the session and putting up on YouTube like I say I will and I never do, he's actually doing it. So
Okay.
that's good. And we're getting a little wider audience. Like I said, we've got like about an hour. We had problems with this last week. Since we've got it here and we've got you. Right now it's tied into the Lambda thing, but I thought that you could do some of this without Lambda. So in that case, I'm gonna take help off. That's simple, right? And let's just say return parameters to client, and let's just add a message. So yes, let's see. One of these. Okay, so we're going to add a message. So let's add a message. So yes, you typed help.
Yeah, you don't have to use Lambda. You could build an entire bot and not use Lambda at all.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we took out the Lambda, right? So now we're going to do it within just Lex.
Yeah.
And let's say something else. I should put a help message here. All right. So now that we've done that, if we hit save intent, we come over here.
That will respond with multiple messages.
Yeah. One of these will be picked at random.
Yeah.
So let's say, like, can you help me? See if you see if that works. Okay, that looks like he's still going back
You'll probably need to add it as a sample utterance for, let's see.
No, maybe we need to save intent. Maybe that's part of the problem. Okay.
And then build probably.
Yep.
Try building.
Yep. Okay. Build. Yeah, because he's still running off the Lambda one there. All right. So let's just see what, if he types just, oh, he's getting ready. That's why I can't type. All right, let's see what happens if I say help in a sentence. Let's try this. You have to be explicitly. Yeah, so I should put a help message. So it has to match it explicitly. But let's see, build in. We should be able. Okay, so this is a built-in intent, so we can't like put things in it. Let's go over to get product flavor. Let's take off the Lambda function. And we have the following flavors. Okay, whatever. All right. So these are the utterances that he's looking for. Let's save that and make sure that we hit that and build. Once again, we're just staying in the dialogue flow, or staying in Lex here.
So when you click build, what happens is Lex takes all of your sample utterances and then refines it builds a predictive model that it's using to actually map what the user provides as input to map that to a particular intent. So that's kind of why it takes a little while to chug there, because it's running some code to build that model.
Right. Yep. All right. So we're gonna type in one of these explicitly and then see if it comes back with, we have the following flavors. So show me a list of ice cream flavors. So, right. So the ice cream flavor is a slot. And since this matched, it gave us this response. If we, thanks. Let's try to type something else here. I'm not going to do it because I got to build it, but for later. Thanks. We have A, B, C, D. Okay. All right. Is for product type, like he had to know ice cream. I'm going to save this, but let's look at this and see if he's still hooked up. See if he's still hooked up. Nope. Product types are hard coded, so he's not hooked up to the, what do you call it? Candy bar. Another one. Candy bar. All right. So let's build this again. All right, so non-code wise, we should see like candy bar, ice cream, and frozen yogurt this time. See if that picks it up. Get product flavor. Which flavors do you have? What products do you have? Interesting. So We typed in what products do you have? I would like to order maybe this one. Where do you think this thing got keyed into? What products do you have? Is that it doesn't match any of the intents here. Definitely doesn't match help. Doesn't match any there, but he came back with this response. Where do you think that got keyed off of, Andrew?
Well, I would look for the intent that has that response somewhere. Maybe in error handling, perhaps. I don't know how to. It's below slot types, and then error handling.
Here, okay.
Maybe no.
This is an order. Let's get back to get product. Let's try one of these just to make sure.
It also might be in the Lambda itself because you can customize the response message in the Lambda.
Yeah, but I think we've typed most of those. But that one definitely got matched. Let's can we up arrow? No. Which? So I don't know if I think we put candy bar flavors. Because that was one of the product types, right? That came back because the product type was null. Which candy bar flavors? Look at this again. Candy bar is one. Which candy bar flavors do you have? Which product type flavors do you offer? That looks like that would have worked. Let's try it all caps for see if that matters. Which candy bar flavors offer? Which product would you like to get a list of flavors? It's like key is we're returning parameters to client. None of that's happening. So I'm saying it's kind of confusing about how, let's build this again just to make sure we're using it. We added a product type, which is candy bar. So that should be the possible slots for that question. He's not going out to Lambda, so he should have a response that's one of these. Let's try that again. And that's verbatim this thing here. Similar results that we got. See, that's what confuses me. Because this will definitely is he just not at the stage to look for this particular intent? Andrew?
I would have to dig into this. How? I don't have this bot pulled up on my screen.
You don't have the is it not showing this presentation?
I'm just saying I would have to poke around and see where those responses are coming from to kind of deduce where the messages are flowing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that all of these things, intents, are things that can be acted upon by the bot in parallel. Like you don't necessarily have to like proceed through them. It's just as if you have a sentence that like you're at here and there is a sample utterance, which is there, and that matches, then the response should be down below. If you put in AWS Lambda function, you're not going to have this response coming from here. It would come from the Lambda function. And that's what confuses me about that. If I clear chat history and then type that again, let's see. It's still not coming up with this response.
All right, which flavors?
That is literally verbatim. Which flavors do you have?
Well, it looks as though that's the product type needs to be satisfied, right? So it's a required slot. You can see the prompt. It says, for which product would you like to get a list of flavors for? So Lex is seeing that the product type slot is not filled, and that's why it's asking for that before it's actually providing the
because so if we take that off, you're saying gotcha. So that's strange that they would have that required there, but they don't have it in that question.
So this is the way it was. I mean,
yeah. We had it up there verbatim, and then we just kind of like took apart some of the pieces. But they had required. But I think you're right, because that question, which flavors do you have, for the sample utterance, that was something that they had last week as well. There we go. Andrew, you rock the roll. You rock the roll, Andrew. So, okay, so if you put that back, we know that'll break it. If you do provide it, let's see this. Let's see if it can pitch.
I mean, this is where Lex becomes a lot more complex. It's when you have a series of slots that need to be filled. It's this very nonlinear process of collecting that information. And that's also where the complexity in your lambdas begins to get, more and more, like the requirement for the complexity gets more and more as you get more slots.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so in this case, like I said, we don't have, there's the Lambda. Oh, how about this? This is interesting. I thought that we took this off. Let's take this off. Okay, so now that's off. What candy bar flavors do you have? That matched here, which went down to there, yada, yada, yada. But let's give me a list of, so because that went to the Lambda initialization, that probably why product type came back as null. So let's build it once more. And we should get candy bar as one of the types. So which product type came back as null, which is odd because even though we didn't say it was there's product type. Product type definitely has candy bar.
Right, but you need to elicit that from the user and collect the product type that they're seeking.
So he's not matching on this. So this is which flavors do you offer, and product type is the slot. Candy bar for product type is one of the available. So down here, I would expect the product type not to be null. Am I mistaken? And there's no Lambda in play. This is literally just within here.
Well, you took out the, let's see. You took out the Lambda initialization, but I have to look at that.
Yeah. You got the response, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I mean, it's like just playing with it. We'll see how it works. The devil's in the details. All right. Well, I think that we've done the lab. We've only got a half hour left on this lab instance, but that's that. It was another good week. Yeah.
John?
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question, or not question, just a suggestion. We have some contingent of 3 JetBrain ID licenses. I would raffle them off now. What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll stop presenting and you can raffle them off.
Cool. Well, at first I will share the URL to a kind of feedback form I created. It's also, I will share it also here in Google Meet call, so Andrew can take part, John, you as well. And also with the community on the YouTube stream. This is just a form, a very simple form, your name, your email, and the feedback to this event, what we can improve here. And I will take the name afterwards, and we have a wheel of names here. It's a front-end application. I will start sharing my screen soon. And we will just raffle off 3 generic licenses. It means the company JetBrain, I guess every developer should know them. They are creating a lot of cool products. Among them, some very cool IDEs, integrated development environments like IntelliJ, IDEA, and stuff like this. I will in meantime, I will share the link to their products which they provided to us. 3 licenses. You can choose your ID of your choice, whatever you want. License there. Usually it's like a few hundreds of bucks of dollars to buy one, and you will get it for free. Like 3 people today will get them for free.
Excellent. That's good. I used to have one of those subscriptions to PyCharm and all of their different tools, and I didn't keep it up. I should renew it. Yada yada yada. But they've got the C Lion for CC++, and they've got something I think called WebStorm or SQL Storm.
Yes, it's WebStorm for sure. Yeah, probably SQL Storm is another product. I don't know, but I know WebStorm.
Yeah, but that WebStorm is what, JavaScript?
For JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Karen, I filled out the form, but it says August 16th, but that's still the right form, right?
Let me double check. Oh yeah, it should be August 30th. Yeah, thank you. I just fixed it.
Do I need to fill it again, or that's good?
No. It's the same form. Thank you. I just
Okay,
corrected the date.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give them 2 entries for correcting that.
People we got here, we have 15 responses, and we have 30 people in the stream right now, and a few people in a Google Meet call. So use this last minute to fill out the form, submit it, and we will begin shortly.
While we're waiting, so next week, anything in particular that you guys would like to do. So that, let me put something up real quick. Present now, a Chrome tab. I'll write it down. Home. The Alexa skills development one, I asked them to bring that online. It's been 2 weeks. I don't think they're going to bring it back online. I don't have any more AWS labs available. So if the guy doesn't come back to give us some free lab resources, would you like me to do one of these labs here? And this is our choices. Any of
Yeah.
these?
So people in the chat as well, in the stream, if you have some special wishes to the labs, which we will be doing next time, post them there, and I will send it to John.
Yeah.
If nobody objects, I don't know, it's just my idea. Like Lambda is a kind of very interesting service, which used to be like one of a kind. Now, yeah, now everyone got it, like every cloud vendor. Yeah, just my suggestion. But if there are better ideas, let's go for them.
All right. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different Lambda labs, so we can do those. And considering, I think some of these are going to be JavaScript, that would be good because I'm still trying to learn JavaScript.
No, there are plenty of them are free as well, right? The first labs in this quest, in this Lambda quest, are actually free.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. 2 of them, yep, are for free. Yep.
So let's see how many submissions we got. Like it's 24 names here. That's great. I will just take them all. And I will start sharing my screen right now. Okie here we are. You should see my screen, I guess, right?
It's coming up. I see 2 clean shaven and one bearded. There we go.
Okay, we have this wheel of names. Let's go for the first spin. Somehow it doesn't work with the sound. I don't know. I didn't figure it out yet.
Andrew,
Victor. It's Suman.
Chaco board.
Suman.
Congratulations.
Second spin.
Are you going to, okay, there we go. Come on, Andrew. Andrew. Oh, Tushar.
Let's see. Tushar is the second one, second winner. Hope for the last spin for today. Oh, it was very close. It was very close. Khatib is the third winner.
Yep. Congratulations, Steve Fahad. Rock and roll, coochie-coo.
Cool. Yeah, we will try to get from time to time this and different kind of prizes for our events, just to make it a little bit more fun. But it's already a lot of fun, you know. And thank you, John, again for your amazing quiz. I really enjoyed it. I think we have to keep them like this way, you know. Maybe I will also help you with sourcing of the questions or whatever.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, that's it for me. That's approximately getting close to 4 hours of study sessions this week. I got to do some other things. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you next week.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, everyone.
Do we want to
Take
set
care.
a date for the Lex stuff, or
What's that?
do we want to talk about a date for my Lex talk, or do we want to put that off till later?
It's whenever you're ready. So if you think you'll be ready next week, we can do it next week. And if you just put in the Slack channel any details, what I'll do is I'll create it via the Eventbrite to publicize it.
Okay.
And I'll put it on Meetup. If you want it to have it for like 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out to try and gain more attention, we can do that as well.
Okay, let me look here real quick.
What I'm trying to convey to you, Andrew, is I want you to be able to do anything that you want,
Okay.
whatever you want. So you say, I'd like to do it on the 3rd weekend from now, and I'm going to do it for an hour. I will schedule it in Meetup and Eventbrite and put it in there.
All right, thank you.
That will,
I'd say 2 or 3. So, I mean, I was thinking I would rush for next week since you all have been doing the Lex stuff.
yeah.
And maybe it would be better to reinforce that. But I don't know, maybe there's better for a couple week where you're focusing on Lambda or other things and then come back to Lex. I'm not sure.
Well, the way I see it, if you give it 3 weeks, you give it more time to percolate on Eventbrite, and then also Karen can talk about it and get people.
Okay.
Karen will grab more people than I can generate.
Okay. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, you're welcome. Welcome, Andrew. We are always eager to for interesting talks, and yeah, that would be amazing.
All right. Let's do 3 weeks then.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Take care
See
and
y'all.
stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.